came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really hip. There isn't any cost of membership, and all you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this ship. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it up on the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
Am I getting off without a hitch? Am I getting off without a hitch? No, there can't be. It can't be a Sunday night mystery ship without some kind of freaking problem. Look at it. It's 6:24 and I'm just starting. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I am your brother Zoe. I'm coming to you once again from my garage. What's going on with my camera? Let me fix this. Let me fix this. It's always got to be something. Got to be something on the Sunday night mystery ship, right? God forbid things should go easy for me. Good evening, my friends, and welcome. Welcome to the mystery ship. It's a mystery I even get up and running each and every Sunday night. Sat down at the computer tonight about not a lot early, but about 5 minutes early, generally quite enough time to set up my 4 different streams and 5 different streams and go. And Windows decided that it wasn't going to participate unless I did a complete update of my system. So I had to shut everything down and start over again. How are we doing out there, people? It is wonderful to see your smiling faces. Let's see. We are live at D Live. Yes, I see some smiling faces there. We are live at, we are live at Rumble. That's good. A quick check of the, are we live at Twitch? Twitch appears to be doing what it's supposed to do. Hello, Twitch. Yes. Andy Social. He says he's everywhere. It's a beautiful thing, Andy. All right. How about at Pilled Foxhole? Yes. Oh, there's a wonderful crowd hanging in at Pilled Foxhole. Yes, indeed. I don't see my live screen, but it doesn't mean that it's not currently broadcasting live. And then last but not least, are we live? Are we live at the Tube? It appears as though we should be. Okay, we are live. Turn that off. Good. I see Andy Social there, Dark Brain, the Texan, our Charlie. Wonderful, wonderful to see you, my friends. We're live across the board, people. Live across the board. Great. Let us proceed with this Sunday's show. Today is Sunday, April the 7th, year of our Lord 2024. I am thrilled to death to be joining you tonight. Your brother Zoe is looking into strange anomalies. Shall we call it? This is going to be an evening of sort of paranormal things that things that go bump in the night and don't make sense. I love this kind of stuff. I can't get enough of it. But the whole reason for this stems from researching a single individual, and we will find out who that guy is in just a minute because that's the kind of guy that piques my curiosity. Willie Fix It, replete with beard and lovely wife, in a photo with me. Do I have a band-aid on my nose yet? No. I think I took it off for the photo. Good to see everyone over there at the home of the champions. I'm talking about Pilled Foxhole. You can see that crown right behind me. They are sporting the crown, people, and they're loud and proud. They are loud and proud and sporting the crown. Jolene, how are you doing, little lady? Wonderful to see you. Due diligence, my brother. Great to have you in the house. Andy Social, the guy's getting around. He is freaking getting around, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Who else we got hanging out over here? Kristen Hudson. Good to see you, little lady. Zoomer. Zoom. How you doing, my brother? Oh, that's a good cup of grog right there. That is a delicious cup of grog. Hallowed be thy name. Good to see you. Welcome. So glad to have you here. Girl Patriot, of course. Wonderful to see your smiling face, as always. We got anybody else? Did I miss anybody? I don't want to miss anybody. It's a Sunday night on the Mystery Ship. And seriously, there's my brother, the Texan. He's checking in, sharing the love. Well, thanks, Texan. He gives me the Our Gang, there's Spanky going like this. Not my fault this time. I swear to God, you can thank Windows. Thank Windows for me being late. Not Windows, but who's that wicked bastard that owns Windows? Bill Gates? Yeah, may he rot in HE double hockey sticks. Well, okay, we have confirmed we are live around the board. We said our hellos at Pilled Foxhole. Let's see who is hanging out with us at Rumble. I'm seeing a couple of faces, one of them being Andy Social. Beautiful. Thank you for popping in over there. We are filling up over at the Tube. I'm seeing Zoomer over there. Susan Danielle, wonderful to see you, my friend. Dark Brain, my quite frankly buddy. How are you doing, my man? Good to have you with us this evening. CP Tophers. CP Tophers. Welcome, my friend. Let me turn you blue. There you go. Next time you say something, it'll be more interesting. R. Charlie, my dear sister, how is it going? Hope your world is wonderful. Truly, hope everything is good in your world. Well, let's get over to the wonderful folks at D Live. Yes, this is I think the biggest group of sailors right now. 32 people over there. Gloria Paddock, what are you doing, little lady? Good to have you aboard, as always. Willie Fix It, triple timing us over there. Amethyst Cat is in the house. Boy, Amethyst Cat hauled in some gold pills yesterday. Something like 47 or so. That was impressive. That was really impressive. Good for you, kiddo. Good for you. Cosmic Grandpa in the house. He says, I was saying Bill Gates was evil before most people even knew who Bill Gates was. Yeah, I saw a little blurb on how the whole Microsoft thing came together, and I mean, I could be wrong. I could get my facts and figures wrong, but it seems like at the beginning, in the dark ages of computer work, people wrote programs at all different companies, and they freely shared stuff with one another. Oh, you're trying to do that? Here, use my program. I wrote this code for doing just that. And people openly shared stuff so that computers like grew up together across the board at all these companies. Gates was the first asshole to come along and say, I'm going to buy that from you, or I'm going to take that from you, or whatever. Somehow, some way, he got his filthy little mitts on the rights to this stuff and basically squeezed everybody out. And he was just like a 25-year-old punk at the time, and ruined it for everybody. Am I right, Cosmic? I mean, that's clearly a bastardization of what really happened, but I'm in the hood, aren't I? Right? Bad Zoot, how are you doing, little lady? Lynn Winters, thank you for your donation there. I greatly appreciate it. Willie Fix It, you too. Gloria Paddock, as well, bringing the love, spreading the love. Good to see you. Sheeple beware. John Rogers, Artist 61. We've got all of our friends pouring in. He squeezed out IBM. Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Cosmac. I know you would know right down to the brass tacks of, there's a special set of coals that are glistening red waiting for his arrival somewhere down there. Somewhere down there. He's going to visit the man with the pitchfork when it's all over. I know it. The man with the red pitchfork. Oh, boy. You're probably right. Sheeple says Bill Gates is definitely evil, but he's just a cardboard cutout to do someone else's dirty work. I do know that it's pretty crazy that Gates has bought up the brunt of the farmland here in America, and that he has taken perfectly good crop and put it in warehouses just to rot, to drive up prices of food. But worse than that, he owns things like Tyson Chicken. The guy is not to be trusted. Bill Gates, you very, very, very bad man, you. Very bad man. Ah, yes. Mad Pogue says he thinks they've broken ground on the 10th circle down here just for him and a few of his cohorts. You know what I say? God is going to get you. God always wins in the end. Don't forget that part. They might think that the problem is that they don't believe in God. They think it's all just a myth. And I can't wait for them to get a taste of what's coming. They're going to get it, too. They're going to get it. Oh, baby. They're going to get it. It always happens that way. Tonight, folks, your brother Zoe is going to be exploring some strange stuff. Some strange stuff. Where is it? Where's my... There we go. That's the one I'm looking for right there. Why? Okay. So I've always been intrigued. I mean, things that don't make sense, things that seem unusual. As a kid, I was fascinated in things like the Loch Ness Monster, okay? Things that just seemed surreal really intrigued me. Of course, UFOs, but I didn't really get UFO phobia. I mean, I have friends who are just, oh, God bless them. I've got a couple of friends who that you can't have a conversation with them without them bringing up UFOs. It's just like, come on, dude, give it a freaking rest. I'm just calling to say how you doing, how you feeling. All that stuff that's just bizarre. We're going to be looking at a number of things tonight. Anything from chupacabras to Mel's Hole. And no, that is not a porno from the 70s. I'm sorry. This is a clean program. I like to keep it that way in spite of whatever shows one of my platforms feels like putting on the air. I run a clean show around here. Okay? I run a clean show around here. I can tell you what, those forced advertisements that you see at the front of the Foxhole page. The day I get a forced ad for one of those pervert programs, man, all hell's going to break loose. This OG is going to go off. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep it friendly because that's what I do. I am a friendly guy. I really am. Truly, truly, I am. We are going to be looking at some unusual stuff tonight. And it's all because I was studying one guy from the 1800s shared shared my curiosity, and he actually wrote a few books about the subject. And at his death, some latecomers to his ways of thinking found his work to be fascinating as well, and they have now created a monthly magazine sharing all of the weird stuff that this guy used to talk about back in the day. So we're going to be looking at a handful of these stories and seeing if we can make sense of it. Some of it just doesn't make sense. And that's the thrill of it all. That is the thrill of it all. Every time I do this show, I have a break in the beginning of the show. It's a chance for you to catch your breath. You can run in the other room and rid yourself of too many drinks that you had during dinner, or you can take that dog outside for a quick break because we're going to settle in and take it to the finish line. Whatever it is that you want to do, you've got about 2.5 minutes to do it because I'm going to be right back after this break. Join me on the other side because Zoso's going to take you to the other side.
Why do we sail upon the mystery ship? 'Cause we never know where we'll go next.
Well, this is the time when I always take a moment to thank the wonderful people that support this program. I freaking love you guys. It's pretty amazing that folks from all over, and I mean literally all over, from out in Hawaii to across the pond over in Europe, we've got friends from literally all over the place in our chat, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Wait, what did the government do to Mel's hole? Father Larry, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I want to take a moment to really thank the wonderful folks that send surprises. I got a couple of surprises yesterday. Two of them. Two of them. All of a sudden, my Cash App blew up. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And those of you who send lemons my way and also things like gold pills, well, you're wonderful. But truly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, one of the best ways that you can support this program is really to just to tell somebody about it. In some small way, we are growing every day. Tonight, when I sat down to D Live and fired up D Live, you get a little notification right in the middle of the screen, and it says such and so just subscribed to your show today, as did 7 others. That means we're growing, people. That means we are growing. I'm looking at the numbers. When I started a few minutes ago, there was 22. Now there's 40 people hanging out over there. Whoever you are, I love you. I know you're not all chatting. I know that some of you are lurkers. And I love those lurkers. Thank you for being here, really. Truly. We have a bunch of lurkers at Rumble, okay? Hey, 208 Outdoors, how are you doing? I think I know who that is. I'm pretty sure I think that's my buddy Zoom masquerading. He's getting around. He's getting around, folks. Good to see all of you. Seriously, great to have all of you. LT dropping in to say hello to the other sailors. This is what I like. The inter-platform banter, people jumping over for a second to say hello to their friends over there. It's great. It's great. It's one big freaking family around here. That's what makes this show a little different than the rest. I'm a different content creator than the other guys. I always call out the people's name at the beginning of the show because the people who watch are the show. You guys are the show. I'm just the guy who turns on the button and gives us a room to all gather together in. But the fact is, it's our show. It's our show, not my show. And what makes it even more fun is every summer I jump on my motorcycle, as evidenced by all of these pins from Maine to Massachusetts to Alabama, Tennessee, Minnesota, Vermont. I ride around every summer and I meet the people who watch this show. It's awesome. It is freaking awesome to do that. I love it. I love it more than anything. And I'm looking forward to going as soon as I turn my freaking building over. I am running comfortably ahead of schedule. Originally, the job I'm working on wasn't supposed to be turned over until September. I think I'm going to hand it to them in June. And I'm telling you, the minute they get the keys, out the door I go. I'm down the road. I'm kind of plotting my trip right now. I want to continue to take roads I have never been to before. I want to hit the Devil's Tower. I have got to go over Pikes Peak. That is a big one for me. That is a big one. That has been on my that's been on my list for the last couple of years, and for whatever reason, one reason or another, it didn't work out. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it to Pikes Peak. There's another place that I really want to go, and Mrs. O is a little pissed because she wanted me to go there with her. That is in Utah. All of those, it's a state park called Arches. And you guys remember from watching the Roadrunner cartoons when you were kids, all those, mountains that have this weird rock formations with like natural bridges and stuff. That shit really exists, and I want to go see it. I want to I want to park my bike in front of it and take a picture like I did at Mount Rushmore or like I did at Niagara Falls. I like taking in all of America's amazing, amazing things. We have so many amazing things. I love crossing the Mississippi River. I've crossed it like 6 times, and it's just so damn big. It takes so long to drive over that thing. Uh, it's so impressive. So impressive. Well, let's get a gander at you. We have a fair amount of people. Look, LT Cooker, Lieutenant Cooker is now with us. Black Cat in the house. Wow. Wow. We got some Emily is here. Zazanimal. Zazanimal. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Yes. Yes, my bike is fuel injected. It will make it no problem. R.C. Anderson, how are you doing? Thank you, Andy Social. Oh, what a cool sticker. That is a great sticker. Trick Pony in the house. What are you doing, little lady? How's it going? Father Larry with us. Oh, man. Prayer Warrior Girl, PWG, what are you doing? Good to see you. Q&A holes. I got your stickers all over my computer over here. Yes. It's kind of funny. I just walked outside and something was amiss. And as I looked around my driveway, I realized, damn it, I sold my Ford pickup today. I sold it to a friend. I'm moving on from that machine. The drag is because I live in the county that I do here in Oregon. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Any other county except the one that I'm in, Jackson County, you can just take your car down and register it. And the thing I've always loved about Oregon versus, say, California, where I came from, in California, when you go to register a vehicle, it goes on the price of they gauge the cost of your renewal on like the price of the vehicle, how fancy it is, how new it is. They got all these factors to make it just ridiculous. It's like some people are paying $350 a year to register their vehicles. If you drive an old clunker, it's not too bad. It's only like $75. But in California, if you drive something newish, yeah, you're screwed. You are freaking screwed. Plus, you have to pass all the smog and all the stuff. So here in Oregon, my truck wouldn't pass smog anymore. And I took it to my mechanics and I said, what gives? And they said, dude, you need a new motor. You're getting some kind of blow by on your number 8 cylinder. It's not hampering performance. The thing runs like a raped 8, but you're just not going to be able to register it unless, of course, you go up to the next county where they don't care. There's no. How can you have smog restrictions in one county and then drive 15 miles and not have any in the next county? Does that make sense? I mean, isn't it all or none? I had no choice. I just had to sell the thing. So now I'm looking at another vehicle. A friend of mine has a nice little 4-wheel drive Jeep that I'm looking at. I think I'm going to pick that up this weekend. And that's just another page turning in the book of Zoe's life. I've never had a Jeep, a legitimate Jeep. Always wanted one. Almost bought a brand new one back in the mid-90s. But at the last minute, I changed my mind and went with a Chevy. It'll be fun. It'll be good. It's another chapter turning in Zoe's book. That's all I can say. So, tonight, people, I bring you a gentleman by the name of Charles Fort. Charles Hoy Fort. Now, does anybody know who this guy is? Have you ever heard of this guy? Charles Hoy Fort. Let me show you a picture of him. This is Charles Hoy Fort. Don't you love those glasses from back in the turn of the century that didn't have any temples? The glasses back then didn't have any temples. You just sort of took them and you pulled them apart and you pinched them on your nose, and that's how they stayed there. Isn't that weird? Why don't they have glasses like that today? That's so weird, so bizarre. But Charles Hoy Fort, who was he and what did he do? Well, he was an American writer. Um, most most known for one of his books. You've probably at least heard of one of his books, a book called The Book of the Damned. And now, if you haven't heard of The Book of the Damned, that's okay. Your brother's always going to lay a little bit on you. But he went around, well, not around, he spent the majority of his time traveling between the New York Public Library and the London Library, a huge, huge library in London. Where the hell's the name? What the hell's the name of it? A very, very prominent library. But what he did is he was fascinated. He was fascinated by things that go bump in the night. Okay? If there was something that didn't make sense, you can bet old Charles Hoy Fort was probably investigating. Okay? Let's see. He wrote 4 books, and all of them were about strange phenomena, weird, weird phenomena. He was born in Albany in 1874. His father was a grocer, very, like my dad, authoritarian. Probably whipped his ass a few times, I'm guessing. It's just a wild guess. Fort had a distrust of authority, probably stemming from his father. Gee, I wonder if that's where I got mine. My dad came from the school where you whip off your belt, click, 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 pull it out of the belt loops, give about 40 stripes, then you start asking questions. Boys, while we're sitting there rubbing our asses, who broke that sprinkler over there? I think it was the neighbor, Dad. I mean, stuff like that. My dad always reacted first and asked questions later. And I think that's probably what happened to Charles Hoy Fort. He distrusted authority. There's something to be said for that. To this day, I distrust authority. I don't know what to tell you other than question everything has been my motto. I almost got a tattoo years ago that said question everything. At this point, I'm glad I didn't. So he left home at 18 to embark on a world tour. You know, back in those days, people were a lot better off. People came to America. Their parents made lots of money. There weren't any taxes. So whatever they made, they kept. And because of that, people were able to go to fine schools, and they could afford the finer things in life. There was no freaking First National Bank of wherever. Okay, there was no Federal Reserve back then. There wasn't anybody with their hands in your pockets. And the powers that be, the filthy, dirty powers that be in this world, knew that if they left America the way it was, then all of the world's most brilliant people would come here to study, to get a good education, and and enrich themselves and become wealthy. And they couldn't have that because they hate competition. They hated competition. So one of the first things they did at the turn of last century was invent the Federal Reserve, which, and then shortly after that, they invented income taxes. And it all's gone to hell ever since. But this young man grew up in a time when none of that existed. And because of that, his folks were able to just kind of let him do whatever the hell he wanted. He got a modest inheritance in 1916, and it gave him enough money to quit his various day jobs and write full time. He wanted to write. Now, his friends and his biographers say that he was an atrocious writer, just a terrible, terrible writer. But write he did nonetheless, and he went between New York and London and collected things like newspaper clippings. He would comb old newspapers looking for things like 30-foot skeleton found and things like that. Okay? He was intrigued by things like Fatima. Okay? He went over there personally to see what was going on in Lourdes, how these three dirty little shepherd girls had the Mother Mary appear to them in a field, and how the Lourdes water could heal people again, if they believed. Okay, if they believed. And it's amazing. I mean, he saw with his own eyes that people got healed with the water at Lourdes, France. That intrigued him. He came back and wrote a book called The Book of the Damned, which was a collection of many, many of the bizarre stories that he found, unusual things. So the crazy thing is this guy lived his whole life searching for the unknown. He loved things just like me, like the Loch Ness Monster and stuff that didn't make sense. He collected all of the paper clippings and wrote books. And in his books, he would pose he would pose his idea of how these anomalies existed, why it would happen. Many times he was just taking a wild ass guess. Okay, he didn't really have anything to back up his thoughts, but he looked at things like, there was a wreck of a ship, the Mary Celeste, that was fully loaded and left something like Boston, headed for Nova Scotia or somewhere even further away. And the ship was found. The ship was found abandoned. The life raft was gone, but everything was on the boat. All of the captain's notes and his charts and all of his personal, everything belonging to the sailors was still on the ship. There was enough food to last through the duration of the trip, and there was no explaining what the hell happened to this boat. These are the kinds of things that intrigued Charles Hoy Fort. So, suffering from poor health and failing eyesight at the end of his life, Fort was pleasantly surprised to find himself the subject of a cult following. Now, he died the year I was born. Talk arose of the formation of a formal organization to study the types of odd events that he wrote about in his books. Ford himself, who did nothing to encourage any of this, found the idea of him having a cult following as hilarious. I mean, he took it with a grain of salt, but he faithfully corresponded with his readers, some of whom had taken to investigating his reports of anomalous phenomena and sending their findings to him. Fort distrusted doctors. He did not seek medical help for his worsening health. Rather, he emphasized completing wild talents. I think that is the last book that he wrote. He collapsed May 3rd, 1932. He was rushed to the hospital. Okay, I have that. I take it back. He died way before I was born. He died way before I was born in 1932. They think he died of leukemia. But the funny thing is, in all the years that he visited the libraries in New York and London, reading scientific journals and things that just seemed bizarre, and compiled compiled these crazy books filled with stuff that just didn't make sense. This cult following, this was akin to, folks, this is akin to the Beatles and Beatlemania. Okay, uh, here's this here's this guy, a simple, unassuming guy, not any kind of rock star of his day or anything. In fact, a lot of people made fun of his books. Okay, his books were panned by the press. But you got that 1%. Okay, you got that 1% who love the kind of stuff that this guy investigated. And so a magazine came out dedicated to his works. And the people who follow him, okay, are referred to as, uh, let's see, the name of the magazine is the 14 Times, FORTEAN, 14 Times. This was started in 1973, and they called it The News. The News. That was the magazine that followed all of his studies. I think this is crazy. This is crazy, but I dug through a handful of those magazines. I dug through a small handful of those magazines, and I found some stories that we're going to look at. Okay, we don't have time to look at everything the guy dug into because it's just too numerous to even. If you want to get a taste, if you want to get a taste of Charles Hoy Fort, then look online and look for a magazine that ran for 3 years called The News, that investigated everything that this man looked at. Um, let's see. One of them, one of them is a thing called the Mozart effect. Well, I need to take this. I need to take this even further. His cult following. His cult following followed in his footsteps. Okay? They followed in his footsteps and started investigating on their own long after his death. And everybody donated their stuff to these 14 magazines in his honor. And the trend continues to this day. And so some of these things that we're going to look at, like right here, the Mozart effect, this wasn't discovered until long after Fort's death, but it was discovered by his followers, and so they attribute it to him. Without him as their guide, we never would have studied something like the Mozart effect. Now, what is the Mozart effect? Well, this is pretty interesting stuff. Um, According to Dr. Gordon Shaw, we have this common internal neural language that we're born with. And if you can exploit that with the right stimuli, then you're going to help the brain develop and do the things like reason. Okay? So the Mozart effect was coined by a gentleman named Alfred Tomatis. for the alleged increase of brain development that occurs in children under age 3 when they listen to the music of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. The idea for the Mozart effect originated in 1993 at the University of California, Irvine, when physicist Gordon Shaw and another physicist, Francis Rauscher, a former concert cellist and an expert on cognitive development, they studied the effects of a few dozen college students listening to Mozart. Particularly, they experimented with Mozart's Sonata for Two Pianos in D major. They found a temporary enhancement of the spatial temporal reasoning as measured by the Stanford Binet IQ test. There were some unsuccessful attempts to replicate this because that's what you do with a scientific theory. You put it out there and then people try to replicate it, and if they can, then the theory rings true. Well, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Okay? Uh, they they took mothers who were pregnant, and in the last 3 months of the mother's pregnancy, they took a pair of speakers like this, headphones like this, and clamped them on the baby's stomach and played Mozart. Now, they did this with 3 control groups. Okay? They did it with a control group of babies who heard nothing. They did it with a group of babies who listened to Mozart. And they did it with babies who listened to... What did they listen to? Something other than Mozart. So anyway, there were these 3 control groups. Far and away, the children who were later born, who were exposed to Mozart, did unbelievably well in their IQ tests, like 33% better than the other 2 control groups. I personally, I find this fascinating. Stuff like this, it's crazy cool. I'm going to start playing Mozart in my sleep at night. I'm going to put some Mozart in my cans and go to bed and listen to the 2 pianos and see if I wake up smarter in the morning. I think it's freaking cool. I think it's freaking cool stuff. That right there is just one of many ideas that the followers of Foyt found. Okay, there's another one. There's this other one. It's called the God helmet. Has anyone heard of the God helmet? Okay, let's lay the God helmet on you. Okay, so the God helmet is a name given to a device used by Michael Persinger. He's a cognitive neuroscience researcher in Canada, in Ontario, Canada. The helmet is used in experiments designed to see what kinds of feelings or experience people have when exposed to very weak magnetic fields near their temporal lobes. It sounds ridiculous, but the device is basically a snowmobile helmet that has been filled with solenoids and coils that produce magnetic fields when an electrical current is passed through them. The magnetic fields produced by this device are as strong as those produced by like an ordinary hair dryer. So we're not talking about zapping someone, okay? Nobody's getting electrocuted here. It's just a slight bit of exposure to magnetism. All right. Um, some people, this is pretty cool shit. Some people reported having mystical experiences while wearing the helmet. Uh, that's why it got dubbed the God helmet. Persinger thinks his work is contributing to the field of neurotheology, the search for a correlation between things like colored blips on an MRI or exposure to magnetic fields and subjective feelings that some people call spiritual or mystical. Some people some people had out of body experiences while wearing the God helmet. I wish you could buy these things. I'll try anything once. I seriously, I think this is I think this is freaking cool shit. Okay, so one might think that if such low level magnetic fields could stimulate the prefrontal lobes and cause spiritual experiences, there would be numerous reports every day of women and men in ecstasy from accidental exposure to a magnetic pulse. Anyway, Persinger says he's been at this for 15 years and he's seen several reports that claim that 80% of those who put on the God helmet have had weird experiences. Now, you can look this up for yourself. The God helmet. The God helmet. I, uh, I need to read up more on this myself. I think that stuff like this, I just find stuff like this fascinating. Seriously, if there's any truth, if there's the slightest truth to this, what the heck? What have we got to lose? I mean, wouldn't you like to take a trip and never leave the farm by simply putting on a helmet? I don't know. Let me see what some of you guys are saying. Let me see what some of you guys are saying. I'm sure, like everything else, if there's a way that, what did you say? You think that's what happened to Willie Fix-It? He was born with a God helmet? Oh, I don't know. You'll have to ask Willie's mom. Um, there is a bunch of, there is a bunch of weird, weird stuff that these people they subscribe to. Okay, some of this stuff is out there. Some of this stuff is really out there. Here's one. This is this is called the sheep goat effect. I think that Sheeple Beware might be particularly interested in this. Are you listening, Sheeple? Are, are you listening? Okay, so the sheep goat effect dates back to 1942 when Gertrude Schmeidler, a professor of psychology at City University of New York, she asked her students whether they believed in PSI. Now, PSI is, what the hell is that? Psychic something, psychic sensory, psychic sensory, excuse me, my tongue is not working. Psychic sensory investigation. Psychic sensory investigation. Um, she called her believers sheep, okay, and she called her non-believers ghosts. Sheep and goats. The sheep believed, the goats did not believe. She gave them an ESP card test, okay, and then she did something to these people and repeated the results. And this woman's results, her results have been replicated many times. So, what did she do to him? She did something to these people. What the hell did she do? She did something to increase their their sensory perception. And like she said, she divided her students into two groups. The believers were called sheep. The non-believers were called goats, and she would give them this ESP card test before and after whatever this treatment was that she did to them. And the people who were the sheep performed remarkably well on the ESP test after she was done with them. I don't know. I don't know. Sheeple, you got any dirt on this? I'm just kind of curious. I'm just kind. I'm just kind of curious. Let's see. What else do they look into? These people looked into, I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. What is this one? So, yellow bamboo. Has anyone ever heard of yellow bamboo? Sounds interesting. I thought it was a plant. Apparently, I'm mistaken. Folks, yellow bamboo is in fact white sorcery. Okay? Not to be confused with black magic. We're going the other way. Yellow bamboo is white magic. It is an art of self-development, protection, and healing, and actually is a martial art whose proponents make extravagant but testable claims about using chi to ward off and disable attackers. Let's see. Where's the video? Oh, there's no video here. Damn it. I thought I had something to show you. Anyway, the people who believe in this yellow bamboo, I wonder if it's like anything else. You know how a genius only uses 14% of his brain, and there's all that 86% left over? Well, these people practicing yellow bamboo must be exercising parts of their brain that the rest of us aren't utilizing. Okay? Because according to 40,000 members, they say that this yellow bamboo really freaking works. Let's see. They give you a couple of look. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Yellow bamboo. Look into it. I think you'll find it. Something really weird. Okay, something really freaking crazy. There's all kinds of strange anomalies that these people investigate and look into. They were very big at studying the Bermuda Triangle. Do you know that there's another triangle, not the Bermuda Triangle? Do you know that there's one called the Devil's Triangle? Now, this is a triangle off the coast of Japan that's said to be comparable to the Bermuda Triangle. Charles Berlitz, who made the Bermuda Triangle a mystery with his creative storytelling, did the same for the Devil's Triangle in his 1989 book of the title. Berlitz claimed that between 1952 and 1954, Japan lost 5 military vessels and over 700 crew members in the Dragon's Triangle. The Japanese government sent research vessels to study the area, and the ship vanished in a volcanic eruption in 1958. Now, a lot of people want to, of course, they want to debunk these things. They want to say, oh, this is all horse hockey. It's all horse hockey. But, folks, if you believe, it opens up a lot of doors. it really, it really does open up a lot of doors if you just freaking believe. Um, there's another very interesting story that that took place. This is something that old Charles Fort looked into. It's called Mel's Hole. How many people have heard of Mel's Hole? Put a one in the chat. I want you to put a one in the chat if you've actually heard of Mel's Hole. And as I joked around with earlier, no, no, it's not a 1970s porno movie. Mel's Hole is supposedly a place that really freaking exists. Have you heard of Mel's Hole? Anyone? Okay, Prairie Fire has heard of it. Peggy Dancer has heard of it. Interesting. Let's see what they're saying over at YouTube. Have you guys heard of Mel's Hole? Yes. Yes, Dragon Sage has heard of it. Right on Cue has heard, or Charlie has heard of it. Interesting. All right, well, let's have a gander at Mel's Hole. So here, let me show you this. Let me show you this. Okay. Okay. This right here is reported. This is reported to be Mel's Hole. Okay. Now, let me share some of the bizarre stories about this place. So, this guy named Mel buys this property in Washington, the state of Washington. And he goes out, apparently he bought a fair amount of acreage. He's out driving around I think he had one of those little 4x, those all-wheel drive little getabouts. And he comes upon this freaking hole. And he was kind of freaked out by, how big it was, and looked down in it, couldn't even see the bottom, did what anybody else would naturally do, took a rock and threw it in there, just like this guy is in the photo. Okay. Just like this guy in the photo is doing, threw a rock in there. He never heard it hit the bottom. So he was fascinated by this thing because it didn't make any sense. There wasn't any, like, if somebody digs a hole, like when we bring in earth augers. I mean, I've dug some amazing holes on my job sites. When I've put in signs, okay, we have brought in earth augers that have, a 10-foot circumference, and it's a giant drill that goes down into the earth and pulls all this freaking dirt out and swings to the side. But when you dig a hole like that, there's the spoils. The spoils come out of the hole. The thing about this hole is it didn't have any spoils around it, okay? There was no evidence of dirt hauled out from underneath and spread around the outside. It was just a freaking weird hole. So he starts asking his neighbors about this hole, the ones who had been there a long time. Now, apparently his property bordered some kind of native Indian, a reservation of some kind, Native American reservation. He spoke with one of the Indian chiefs, not a chief, but a representative of the tribe. And all they could tell him was, yeah, man, there's something really freaking wrong with that hole. We don't know what it is, but it's bad juju. That's all they could really tell him, is that the hole had been around there forever and ever, and that all of their dealings with it were bad dealings. So that's kind of all he had to go by. He spoke with another woman, another neighbor, who said her family had been in the area for a couple hundred years. They homesteaded the area, and her family told them that when they initially found that hole, that it had Stonehenge type rocks placed all around it. What became of the rocks? Who knows? Maybe people pushed them down the hole. Who knows? Who freaking knows? Then he spoke with another neighbor who told him that his favorite dog, his favorite old dog, died, and he threw the dog down the hole. He threw the dog's dead body down the hole. Well, the story that he got back from the guy was the next morning when he woke up, the dog was alive and sitting on his front porch. Now, I don't know what to tell. I wasn't there. I can't corroborate any of this, but it's a pretty interesting little story. It's pretty freaking bizarre stuff right there. Uh, there are claims that there has been UFO activity in the area around Mel's Hole. I honestly, I tried to do some digging on Mel's Hole. I didn't get all. There's not a lot on it. There's a lot of people saying that it's bunk, that it's been disproven. There are also equally as many stories that say it really exists and that the government has had military installations around this thing in the past, and that for a while there you couldn't even get near the hole. Let's see. Okay, so here's a story that I did find that kind of piqued my curiosity. 15 years ago, a story about a mythical bottomless hole somewhere on Manistash Ridge near Ellensburg took on a life of its own. Ask a local person about Mel's Hole today, and you might get a tale that involves paranormal activity, government conspiracies, and dead animals coming back to life. Find someone more skeptical, and you'll probably get an eye roll and a solid explanation of why it isn't true. Those who perpetuate the myth can't or won't reveal the exact location of the supposedly supernatural hole, but Jack Powell, a well-respected state geologist, points to a less menacing real hole near Ellensburg that likely was the inspiration. He'll also tell you the modern rural legend, as told on AM late night radio, is probably geologically impossible. Okay? Um, it's apparently it all started in 1997 when a man identifying himself as Mel Waters of the Ellensburg area appeared on Coast to Coast with Art Bell, a nationally syndicated AM talk show. Bell's late night guest featured weird people. Waters, in a lengthy conversation with Bell by phone, talked about a mysterious hole in the ground on his rural property about 9 miles west of Ellensburg. Federal government agents seized the land with no explanation as to whether the hole was a dangerous threat or an important national security, important to national security, or both. Waters claimed the cover story the government gave him was that it was the old site of a downed aircraft. Now, whether that's true or not, nobody really knows. But the strange thing about this story is Waters said the hole had paranormal properties. Despite the fact that locals dumped their garbage there for years, he said a rural resident tossed his dead dog into the hole only to see it later alive outdoors. The dog wouldn't come to him after that, is the story. After that, the dog wouldn't come back to him, his rightful owner. Um, he said he lowered a weighted fish line down there uh, and couldn't find the bottom. Uh, Waters told Bell and others. Oh, Waters told Bell that others had seen a black beam coming from the hole, and still others claimed that portable radios held close to the hole's entrance would play programs and music from the past. Okay, so this is where it starts getting, to me, it starts getting a little sketchy, but who the hell knows? The interesting thing about Mel's Hole is for every story that you find saying that it's hogwash, there's at least two stories talking about how weird of an anomaly it is. I don't know what the hell to believe. I really, I, I don't. People claim to have searched for the hole and found it, without ever revealing publicly the exact location. All they said was that it was on Manistash Ridge, some 9 to 10 miles southwesterly of Ellensburg. Let's see. This guy says this natural resources geologist Jack Powell. He said that he was listening that night. He was listening that night when Mel called in, and that it piqued his interest, and that this became personal to him because it was his area, and he sought this thing out for years and claims that it doesn't exist. So whether you want to believe it or not, that I guess that's up to you. There's so many things out there, folks. There's so many weird and spooky things out there that just simply don't make sense. I have heard story. What's this other one? I was going to look at the chupacabra. Okay, where is that? The chupacabra. Now, depending on who you talk to, okay, this is another weird story. This is something that that Fort did look at. Oh, come on. Where's my story on? I had pictures of it and everything. Where's my chupacabra picture? Oh, no. Okay, hang on. Here we go. All right. Okay. The chupacabra. Now, I know you guys have probably heard of this one, right? Surely you've heard of... No, there's not a chupacabra in Mel's Hole. At least I hope not, for Mel's sake. So, the chupacabra is known as a goat sucker. Okay? This is an animal said to be unknown to science and is systematically killing animals in places like Puerto Rico, Miami, Nicaragua, Chile, and in Mexico. The creature's name originated with the discovery of some dead goats in Puerto Rico with puncture wounds in their necks like a vampire, like two small puncture wounds in their neck, and their blood allegedly drained. Let's see. According to UFO Magazine, there have been more than 2,000 reported cases of animal mutilations in Puerto Rico alone attributed to the chupacabra. Now, There are there are people there are people who swear. There's people who swear that they've seen this thing. Let me see what I can do for a second. This is supposedly a chupacabra. This is an artist's rendition of the chupacabra. It's so funny. There's a guy I used to work with, and I used to call him Chupacabra because I could never find him. Every time he was a great guy. He did a great job at work. He was uh, one of the best human beings that you'd ever know. But when I would go looking for him, like especially in an apartment complex of like 150 apartments across 14 units, I could never find this guy. And eventually, at the end of the day, when it was time to go home, here came old Chupacabra. I'd say, "Hey, where you where you been all day, Chupacabra? Nobody can ever find you." I wondered I wondered if this guy just went and slept in his truck when nobody was looking, or found a closet somewhere. Chupacabra. Yes. Um, so, like everything else, there's debunkings and all that. According to Ben Radford, who is Ben Radford, you ask? Well, so do I. The chupacabra is modeled after the creature in the 1995 movies Species. The first eyewitness account of the creature was given by Madeline Tolentino in a Puerto Rican newspaper. Radford interviewed her and asked her if her account could have been influenced by the movie. She said she'd seen the movie, but that didn't help her in making her description. Um, Other reports in Puerto Rico and other parts of Latin America uh, claim that this there are deaths, unexplained deaths of their livestock, um, ex- and other exotic animals that they just can't explain. Okay, um, let's see. The chupacabra has been variously described. Some witnesses have seen a small, half alien, half dinosaur, tailless vampire with quills running down its back. Others have seen a panther like creature with a long snake like tongue. And still others have seen a hopping animal that leaves a trail of a sulfuric stench. Reminds me of some of the women I knew in the 80s. Um, anyway, uh, some people think it might be a type of dinosaur heretofore unknown. Others are convinced that the wounds on the animals whose deaths have been attributed to the chupacabra indicate an alien presence. Now, they don't attribute these quote unquote mutilations to the aliens themselves, but one of their pets or experiments gone awry. Such creatures are known as anomalous biological entities, ABEs, in the UFO circles. Now, do you guys might remember this? I mean, I heard about this back in the 80s. When I was in my 20s, I heard about cow mutilations going on, and it was here in the U.S. I heard that there were cows that had had certain organs removed from them. They would find the cow's carcass in a field, opened up with just certain parts missing, and not a single drop of blood on the ground. Now, seriously, I can't be the only guy who's heard of it. If you guys have heard of those stories, put a one in the chat because I can't be alone on this. I'm talking a long, long, long time ago. In the 80s, I heard stories of ranchers complaining about they had cow mutilations where the cows were drained of their blood and organs taken without a freaking drop of blood on the ground. See, other people have heard of this. Yes, Peggy Dancer says we had cow mutilations in Nebraska. See, a lot of people have heard of this. Wow. See? All right. So, to me, folks, this kind of lends, as crazy as it freaking sounds, this lends credence to the chupacabra. I mean, who says, I'm not saying that I've seen one. All I'm saying is there are people in those countries, those Latin countries, who swear they've seen the animal, and they swear that they have found the dead bodies of the poor animals that were killed by the supposed chupacabra. Who freaking knows? Who knows? But this is the perfect kind of thing that Charles Hoy Fort would have looked into. Okay? I don't know where, I don't know what to tell you about this stuff. I remain fascinated. I remain fascinated just as this man was. Okay? Just as this man was, I remain fascinated by things that don't make sense. Okay? Now, in my lifetime, I've heard some pretty plausible explanations of crop circles. I mean, there are some really, really unique crop circles without any of the other crops in the area being mashed down. You would think that if it was teenagers with plywood and they did these beautiful things in I mean, they're super talented or what. Man, there's so many unexplained phenomena out there. I don't know what to believe. I remain open-minded, okay? Until someone comes along with a perfectly legitimate explanation, has a reason for proving that we were all taken for a ride. I remain open-minded. You never know. You never know about this stuff. It's crazy. Is it crazy? Yes, it's freaking crazy. But I kind of like crazy. I really do. I really freaking do. All right. Speaking of crazy. Whoops. Where's my cursor? No, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. All right. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier in the program, once a year, I go around the country and I meet up with people who watch this show. And I meet up with other content creators, and it is an absolute barrel of monkeys. I love doing it, and it's coming up. People, I'm probably 2.5 months from setting out on my next excursion. I do hope once I'm able to publish my route where I'm going to go, I will hope to meet up with some of you along the way. In the meantime, I'm going to play you this these are some of the people that I ran into the last time I went around the block.
Hello, Foxhole. How y'all doing, fam? Good to see you. Hanging out with Zoso, dude. You know who he is. You wouldn't be seeing this right now. So, cheers to you, my friends. Uncle Krusty says hello. Peace out.
Hi, this is Judy the Lady Pug, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso, dude.
This is Tanette Booth. and you are watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Salty and Nuts, and you're watching Zoso Dude on the Mystery Ship.
This is a biblicist, and most likely you're going to hell, but not if you watch The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Right. This is Ryan, our Cloaked Unseen World, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Hey, this is Leonard with The Shit Show, and you're watching The Mystery Ship and Zozo Dude 77. Enjoy.
This is Sheree Maddox from LJ, Georgia, and you're on The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, everybody. This is Vicki Holyfield, and you are watching Zozo Dude 77 on the Mystery Ship.
This is Friendly Gator from St. Petersburg, Florida, and you're on board the Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
Hi, it's Joelaine, and we're watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude.
This is Gloria Paddock, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
Hey guys, this is Bruce Q. Wayne, aka the Batman from Three Beermen, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with our good captain, Zoso Dude.
This is Andy Girl 13, and you're watching the Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Hi, this is Susan Danielle, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
This is your brother Belushi, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, this is Carrie Lake from St. Pete, Florida, and you're watching Zoso Dude 77, The Mystery Ship.
You're hanging out on the Mystery Ship with our captain, the Zoso Dude.
Hey, it's M1911 Zoom, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
I'm Neoma.
And I'm Neo.
And you're watching the Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
I'm EO2 Dave, and you're watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
This is Barefoot Patriotess from Tampa, Florida, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
This is Rob, aka Syllabore, and you are watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
Welcome aboard The Mystery Ship, where we go one, we go all.
What a fine, fine group of sailors. What a fine group of sailors I ran into on that last cross-country journey. It is, it's so damn much fun. It really is. Well, it's close to time to get out of here. But one thing I do on Sunday nights is I take a moment to share with our fellow viewers the handful of those who are in need of prayer. Okay? Prayer. It is it's amazing thing. If you believe in the power of your prayer, folks, nothing can stop you from healing the world. It is a matter of believing. Okay? And it can be explained so simply. I mean, you believe in the air that you breathe. You believe in the fact that if you jump up in the air, gravity is going to pull you back down, right? These are things that you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm here to tell you that if you believe in the power of your own prayers with the same zealousness that you believe in gravity or the air that you breathe, that you can heal a lot of people. All you have to do is believe that it will happen. I know it's easier said than done. It's one of those, it's pure faith. It's pure faith. I'm here to tell you it works. I believe in the power of prayer. And I believe in our ability to pray for our friends and to heal them. And I'm going to just read off some names that I know people need and appreciate your prayers. I want to start off tonight with Cherie and Dave Maddox. You just saw Cherie in that lineup. Cherie has been caring for her husband who has come down with cancer 3-4 years ago. She has been treating him holistically with natural things. She reads up, she leaves no stone unturned, and she has baffled the doctors in the fact that by treating her husband holistically with natural herbs and things like that, she has reduced the size of the cancer in his body to the doctors, they can't explain it because he didn't do things like chemo, okay? He didn't do any of the regular voodoo that they do. He's just doing what his wife Cherie tells him to do, and it's working. And the doctors are scratching their freaking heads. You know why? Because we've been praying for him for 3 years. Please keep Dave Maddox and his wife Cherie in your prayers if you would. These are two dear friends of this program. I love them both. You love them both. They've been around forever and ever. Don't stop praying for him. Dave is he's had some setbacks recently, which is a little disheartening, but he remains a devout believer. So let's pray him back into good health, shall we? Let's do it. Liz G and Minnesota Gal, both these ladies are battling breast cancer, and I have a third woman to add. Actually, I added her a couple of weeks ago. My own sister-in-law, Lynn, okay, she had surgery on last Thursday. She had surgery to remove a cancerous tumor from her breast, and they went in and they took some lymph nodes as well. She is healing comfortably, but the three of those ladies, all three of them, need our prayers. Would you please? Minnesota Gal, Liz G, and Lynn, my sister-in-law, would you keep all three of them in your prayers, that God heals them and that they're fine, would be my prayer. Our dear brother Dave Mick is battling leukemia. This is no fooling around. This is a bone marrow transplant is the operation that they go through, and it can be taxing, to say the least. Dave is a very positive guy and a believer. I would ask that you continue to pray for him. Please keep him in your prayers, that he continues to live a long and fruitful life would be my prayer, and that he does it feeling like $1 million. That is what we're asking. That's what we're asking. There's a lady, a long-time foxhole woman by the name of Kay Roney. I recently found out that she has been battling cancer. I don't have the particulars of what kind of cancer, but I don't need to know more than my dear sister Kay Roney needs our prayers. A wonderful, wonderful lady. You've seen her in the chats of so many. I mean, Red Pill 78. She's everywhere. She's everywhere. Kay Roney, would you please keep this woman in your prayers, that God heals her, would be my request. Our dear brother Paul Thaddeus, his dad took a bit of a tumble last week. Paul has been posting updates. Apparently his dad ate the first breakfast that he's eaten in several days just yesterday. I have met Paul, and he is just a great dude. I ask that you pray for Paul's dad, that his dad is made whole, that God would just wrap his loving arms around this man and fix him up right. Please pray for Paul's Thaddeus's dad, would you? Would you? I see our sister Peggy Dancer in the crowd tonight. Peggy is, she has been screwed over by a beetle, bitten by a beetle about 1.5 years ago, and it really messed with her, and she's been battling ever since. It is wonderful to look up and see her in the crowd. Please please pray for our dear sister and her continued good health. Our dear sister, Peggy Dancer. Keep her in your prayers, folks. Keep her in your prayers. My friend Artist61 sent me a photo which was so touching. A young woman by the name of Carrie. This young lady has got a handful of very serious medical issues that she is dealing with. I'll be honest with you. This woman needs all of her. She needs both guns, okay? Both barrels. This young lady has 3 young children. I ask that you would keep this girl, Carrie, in your prayers, that God would heal her and that God would let her continue to attend to her family and her family's needs. She needs our prayers right now, folks. She really, really does. This is a bad situation. Our dear brother Gary Flessner. I know he's out there. Gary is trying so hard just to get back home. If he only had Dorothy's shoes, he could just click his heels. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy. He's got to regain a certain amount of ability to care for himself before they will release him back to his home. In order for that to happen, he's got some milestones to meet. Okay, he's got some yardage to cover. Would you please continue to pray for our dear brother Gary Flessner, that God heals him, God gives him strength, and that Gary finds his way back to his apartment and his independent living, which it's so important to each and every one of us. Imagine if you were picked up and put under the only way you could exist was with other people's care. It would probably really rock your world, and certainly it has rocked Gary's. Please pray for his continued success. We love this guy. We freaking love this guy. Our dear sister Leah Worth is someone who always is in need of prayer. Please don't forget our dear sister Leah Worth. Pray for her, that just in some way her burden would be lightened. There are some mothers out there that need prayer. Joey Mormon's mom is a woman in need of prayer. She had knee replacement surgery. Our dear brother, the Batman, his mom has the early onset of what could be Alzheimer's, possibly dementia. Please pray for her continued healing. Our brother Val Kimber and his mom, please don't forget Val's mom in your prayers, that in some way their burden could be lightened and things go a little easier for them. And our brother Rich Koschmeider, his mom, he is caring for his mother, and Rich should be the first to tell you he's no spring chicken himself. So please keep all of those wonderful folks in your prayers, if you would. All right, we're going to get out of here. I'm right on time. I am exactly right on time. It's a freaking miracle. It's a freaking miracle. It doesn't happen often, but damn it, once in a while it does. Once in a while it does. So we're going to do that. We're going to boogie. We're going to keep everybody happy. I'm going to show those smiling faces. I hope that next weekend I can start busting out some more tie-dye and mailing out some shirts. I want to be able to bring a ton with me. So your brother Zoe has some work to do. He has some work to do ahead of him. I want to thank the wonderful people who donated to the show tonight. Let me shout out some names. Girl Patriot, thank you, darling. Spazzo Yeti, Sean Joe, Victoria, R.C. Anderson, Zoomer, love you, Zoomer. Oh, man, Zoom got a 3-month subscription. He is a rock star. Due diligence, my brother. And Girl Patriot again. A very, very wonderful and generous lady, as are the beautiful people over here. Over here at D Live, look at that. Coffee Talk with Sandra. I need to hook up with Sandra this week. I need to firm up a date for the two of us to have a nice chat. Andy Girl 13, love that lady. Gloria Paddock, need I say more? And look at this. Sleeping Stars, Jayla 17, Artist 61, so many others, so many wonderful people dropping some lemon love right there. I am going to release the treasure chest. I'm going to release the treasure chest. We're going to share in the love. Share in the love. Let's put a little something, something in there. There we go. We have officially put a bump in the treasure chest. Meanwhile, let me get over here to Pilled Foxhole and release that scratching. Here it comes. Here it comes, people. It is released. It is officially released. Go and get you some gold pill love over there. And you lemon hunters, here it comes. Coming your way. Coming your way right now. In 15 seconds, the treasure chest will be opened. Elf on the Shelf, how are you doing? Grand Axel, good to see you. Black Cat, always love you, sister. How wonderful. How wonderful. All right, here it comes, people. Here it comes. Who do we have on the list tonight? Come on. Come on. Let's see. Jayla 17 on top of the heap, baby. Lieutenant Cooker right there. T.L. Spud. And Emily. And Black Cat. All right. Good job, you guys. Nice job on the lemon grab. The treasure chest has been opened. Good for you. Good for you. That is freaking great. All right. Your brother Zoe. Your brother Zoe is going to boogie on out of here, folks. I got another long, long week ahead of me. All kinds of crazy stuff bearing down on my job site. I'm going to have to jump in bed right quick, and it's going to be a long one. I love you all. Wish you all a wonderful week ahead. I will see you this coming Wednesday night for the next mystery ship. In the meantime, when you lay in bed at night, listen very carefully. There could be a chupacabra right outside your bedroom window. You never know. You never know. I love you all. Have a good night, my friends. God bless you. Don't forget to say prayers for our sailors who need them. Take care, my friends. Okay, happy birthday. Is it? Wait, Annie Oakley, it's your birthday, darling? Happy birthday, sister. That is great news. Tomorrow is going to be the apocalypse eclipse is on her birthday. Look out, world. Look out. Annie Oakley's coming at you, baby. Woo! Man, I could screw up a free meal.